Hey, welcome back to JG3 Reviews. My name is James, and here I like to explore the world of fountain pens, ink, paper, all that good stuff. And here today we have actually what you think might be a pen. Well, I mean, this is a pen. This is the Mahjong M600 in a really beautiful resin, but this is not the highlight of the show today. Today what we're going to look at is the nib that may or may not be within this cap. You see, inside this pen is Tangmoon's Schrödinger's Cat Nib unit, or is it? I mean, we could make this joke many times. Other pen enthusiasts certainly have. What do we got in here? Well, I've got the steel version, and it is the silver stainless steel version. It is a medium, and in theory, it should write pretty nicely. But to find that out, we're going to have to remove that cap and first discover whether or not that cat is really in there at all. Now, even though today's video is not primarily about the pen, let's go ahead and take a look at it anyway. This is the Mahjong M600. I've reviewed this pen before, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. But just take a look at this beautiful resin. I wasn't really going to get a second M600. The one I had was enough for me. But this resin called to me so many different times. It found its way into my basket on Amazon so many times that eventually, when the gift card and the weakness both hit at the same time, this pen came to me. And I've had it for a while, and I just think it's a really good-looking pen. And this design anyway makes for a pleasant writing pen. But what we really want to talk about is inside the cap here, and that is the Schrödinger's Cat nib unit from Tangmoon. And this nib unit is all about the engraving. Check that out. If you're into physics, check that out. This is a fun nib, and one of those that can be a distraction from whatever it is you're actually supposed to be writing about, or an inspiration perhaps. Either way, this is just a really fun nib. The engraving is done quite well, and you can get this nib in either this stainless steel silver finish, or you can get it in a gold finish, and you can even get it in a true gold nib. That one will set you back about $120. This one was $16 when I ordered it from AliExpress about a month or two ago. And I think for the level of engraving on the nib, that is really a good deal. This is a number 6 nib, and it is a Bock-compatible nib unit, so any pen that can take a Bock nib unit can take this. So that definitely gives you some options. And I was excited when I remembered that this Mahjong M600 would be compatible with this nib. Now, when you order this nib unit, at least from the seller that I bought from, which was 365-day stationery on AliExpress, it also came with the compatible converter. So that'll take international standard cartridges and converters, and that too, I think, is a good thing. This is already inked up, and so I'm not going to show you how to install that, but let me just take my other M600, which is not inked up, and show you how this is going to work. Now, to swap out the nib unit, the first thing you're going to do is remove the converter, and then I like to use just a medical tourniquet strap to get a grip and just carefully unscrew that nib unit, okay? And then all you're going to do is then get the Schrödinger's Cat nib unit and screw that right in, just like so. This is just altogether way too easy, isn't it? Put your converter back on, put your pen back together, and you're good to go. And then you have a completely different pen. Of course, the original nib that came in this was the Moon Man Mahjong nib. I think it was still Moon Man back when I bought it. And it was gold tone, just like the one I just showed you. I would probably, had I been thinking about this pen when I bought the nib, have gone with a gold tone nib. But at the time, I actually wasn't sure what pen I was going to put it in. I'm really glad I thought about this one, because I think this is a fun match. Now, as I've written with this pen some, with this, this is a 600, not an 800, I've really enjoyed it. This one is the medium. It's available in extra fine, fine, and medium. Nice and wet, and I find that it writes smoothly. Ink today is FPR. And this will be the first time I've used this ink on the channel. This is Green with Envy. Really nice ink, by the way, and perfect for St. Patrick's Day, isn't it? Just a nice, really a good Irish green, Kelly green sort of a color. I like it. I'll do a full ink review not too far in the distant future. Not too far in the distant future. It's almost like, is the review really here or is it not? Not really a lot of flex. It's not overly stiff, though. It could definitely feel stiffer than it is, but there's no, I wouldn't call it springy either. And since this is a full nib unit, I do want to do our speed test because the nib section, the feed, and the nib itself are all part and parcel of your purchase. So this is going to be a true test of the Schrödinger's cat nib unit from Tangmoon. Real time. Okay, I lifted here and here. There was something here, I don't know what happened there. But overall, it looks like it's keeping up just fine. Yeah, no problem there. A little bit on those two upstrokes. Let's see. Maybe it has. I'm gonna do a line where I turn it and see if it has a sweet spot or something. No, nope. Now looking at this up close, with the admittedly limited lens I have here on the camera, it looks like it's pretty standard fare. Nothing just standing out as an egregious problem. Other than that little skip you just saw, I haven't had any issues with the nib. So I think you can count on that being a pretty standard nib grind. All right, so there you go. The Schrödinger's cat nib unit from Tangmoon. Personally, I like it. I think that's fun. I think the engraving is great. It went right into this pen and worked well, and I have enjoyed it. The writing with it is just fine. And I think at $16 when I bought mine, that was a great deal. I think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. So what do you think? Do you like the Schrödinger's cat nib? There's also the Einstein nib and the Cologne Cathedral nib, and those look great too. Which one would you choose? And if you have one, what has been your experience? I always like to hear from other users to get their feedback because our impressions are not always the same, but it gives us a fuller picture. All right, God bless you. Have a great week, and I'll see you in the next review.